I fully expect people to say that I'm a liar or people don't believe me, and because I don't have this on video, and there's a reason that I've put a bunch of security cameras around here, and the truth is I can't sleep at night anymore. I go to sleep around this time of day usually. When the sun kind of first comes up, that's when I feel comfortable sleeping, because this has adversely affected my life in ways people can't even understand, right? It's changed my life, not just for bad ways, but in positive ways too. But nothing has been the same after this happened. And I'm going to tell you what happened. This goes back to even when I was in prison. I had an extremely strange out-of-body experience where I felt like I was rising from my own body in my bunk, and then I heard a high-pitched voice that said, "He is rising." And then I immediately got terrified and I shot back into my body. It's almost as if me not consenting to what was happening was enough to shoot me back into my body. And so that's when this kind of started, I think. But more and more, I realize weird things have been happening all my life, okay? I read Leslie Kean's book in prison, and it really sent chills down my spine. And I read some other UFO-related books. I saw depictions in these books of gray alien-type creatures. And I honestly had a very visceral, emotional reaction to the illustrations of these beings, and I feel like it brought back some repressed memories. I don't exactly remember when and where, but I have a very real feeling that I've seen these beings before. Recently, an alien spaceship visited this farm. This happened. I'm willing to take a polygraph. I'm willing to go under aggressive hypnosis. I'm willing to do whatever. The reason I'm putting up all these cameras, the reason I can't sleep at night and am mostly nocturnal, is because I know what I saw. And what I saw was an alien ship that's not of this world, had no visible means of propulsion, silently hovered above my property for several minutes, and didn't leave until I acknowledged it. It also showed up in such a way that I was meant to see it. It showed up in a very, very obscure position from my window. Like it's a very obscure angle from my desk out the window that I saw it. There's no way that this was an accident. The odds of something being in the sky on my property, and by the way, this thing wasn't high up. This thing was right over my property. I'm talking about very close. It was not at a high altitude. It was right above these trees to where I could very clearly see what it was. It was a triangular shaped spacecraft. That's what this thing was. This thing was not man-made. It didn't make any sound. It didn't have any visible means of propulsion. It had nothing. It had 3 lights, 1 light on each part of the triangle, and 1 blinking red light in the center. And you could see that it was a solid object, but looking back, it did seem like it almost had some semi-translucent properties, like maybe it had some cloaking capability or something that it had turned off for my sake. But it does seem like it had some translucent, weird properties to it. And it did seem like it had gotten unusually foggy only around this area, because I remember I got on my e-bike and rode around, the fog went away. So it was just strange. It was the strangest experience I've ever had in my life, and this was a few months ago. And I will take a polygraph. If you don't believe me, I will take a lie detector test that this happened. Another thing that's happened is I've consistently had dreams involving praying mantis beings, and I've been told in these dreams that I'm being watched, and I've been told that on a day, I'm not allowed to know what day, I'm going to be taken up into a ship. I've been told this in dreams. And apparently, you know, from the research I've done, I've talked to friends, and the government is lying to us about these beings. They're 100% here. You have Zeta Reticulans, you have Calypsi Rei, you have the Akart. Those are the ones that crash their ships in Virginia, Brazil. You have, I'm trying to think what else. You have Nordics, you have Telosians, you have Pleiadians, you have apparently there's underground facilities in Antarctica where there's a human breakaway civilization called the Lyrans that have flying saucers, stuff like that. From the research I've done, there's a lot we're being lied to about, and I don't know how much of this is true, but I know if 1% of it is true, the implications are huge. And we got Preston Dennett and, you know, Quark Zone and all these different people that have uncovered thousands of cases of people having interactions with these beings. And I feel like I have repressed memories involving these beings. I feel like I've been abducted before, and it does feel like, you know, I've had missing time episodes. It does feel like something was shoved up my nose during one of those missing time episodes. I remember I woke up with a nosebleed, and I know people are gonna laugh at me, people are gonna judge me for this, but there's something fucking weird going on in my life and in many people's lives. And this has happened to thousands, tens of thousands of people. Recently in Compton, California, I mean, these things are caught on video. I mean, in Compton, California, there was a little alien being caught on camera. I mean, these things are showing up on camera. I want to point that out. You know, the Las Vegas incident, and it's strange because these beings and their craft, even though people say they don't show up on camera, it seems like they have good cloaking technology, but it isn't perfect. You can see silhouettes and stuff. It's very weird. Under the right lighting, you can definitely see that something is there. Either we're talking about the ships or the beings themselves. And I'm putting cameras all over the place because, you know, I'll have incidents where my dogs will start acting up. You know, all the animals out here will start acting weird. And I've had situations where, and you know, people out here have seen this. It isn't just me. That's another thing. My neighbors can corroborate some of this. You know, we've seen orbs and weird stuff. Somebody from my inner circle, if you want to come out and hang out at Jared Farm, if you're brave enough to do it, spend the night here and you'll see some weird shit. Especially if you intentionally look at the sky, you'll see some weird shit. They'll come by and basically say hi. I mean, and this, you know, I have exacerbated this problem by doing CE5 meditations, but the reason I did CE5 meditations is, quite frankly, because I always felt like something weird was happening in my life, and quite frankly, I'm tired of being clandestinely fucked with by these beings. I really just want to have a face-to-face conversation with them. I have very good reason to believe that these alien beings, they have, you know, pay-as-you-go phones like Boost Mobile. They could walk into a store. A lot of them have cloaking capability, and the Nordics look like humans anyway. So, you know, the alien beings probably have smartphones. They probably have access to the internet. And there's a good chance that maybe one or two of the alien beings watches my YouTube videos. I know it sounds crazy, but there's no reason these beings couldn't have access to the internet. No reason at all, especially when there's, you know, Nordics and Telosians and stuff that look just like humans. There's nothing stopping a gray alien from having a smartphone. So I'd like to say to the aliens that might be watching this video, dead serious, please quit fucking with me and actually just come down and talk to me. And you know, don't come into the house while I'm sleeping, standing next to my bed and shit like that. That's not cool. And if I catch one of you standing next to my bed while I'm sleeping, we might have a big fucking problem. And I'm a big hairy monkey, and you don't want to mess with a big fucking hairy monkey while he's sleeping. It's just not a good idea. Everybody has to form their own opinion, and everybody should keep an open mind in the search for the truth, because even if 1% of this shit is real, you know how big that is? Even if 1% of this shit is real, it's huge. if one of the alien races is real, you know how huge that is. So that's something to think about, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know if you've seen any aliens. Let me know if you've had any interactions with non-human intelligence beings, if you've had any dreams about them. Do you get a strange, visceral, emotional reaction when you see a picture of a gray? Let me know. Leave that in the comment section. Jordan Jareb, signing off.